Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Module 3. And this is where we'll be talking about how to handle difficult customers. We've looked at the different type of customers. We have learned what customer service is, customer relations, how to manage customer relations. We have looked at the qualities of a customer service representative and what qualities you need to have to provide quality services and a positive customer experience. Now we are going to look at ways to handle difficult kind of customers that you may come across as you're doing your work and as you're serving the different type of personalities of the customers that come your way in your company and in your organization and also in your department as well. Remember that you, as the customer service representative, you are responsible for handling the customer's calls or handling the face-to-face customer who comes into your store, your organization or department in a courteous and professional manner. And sometimes the customers will feel that they are being disrespected and will feel they are not being treated fairly or they are being treated inappropriately. So it is your responsibility to handle that customer properly, no matter how the situation may be or how difficult the customer will be. Now we are the objectives of this class today. The objective of this module is to be able to identify methods to diffuse customer anger and hostility. We are going to look at how to develop strategies for handling difficult customers and difficult situations, and also be able to identify situations that tend to be difficult and develop strategies to diffuse those situations. And I will go ahead and give you some examples, and we'll go ahead and evaluate those examples and see how they can help us in learning how to manage difficult customers and situations. Now, whenever you have difficult customer situations or generally difficult customers, it is very important for you to be attentive, listen to what they're saying, no matter their tone of voice, no matter their physical expressions, just listen and empathize. Remember, there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. Empathize. Put yourself in their situation and try to see from the customer's point of view the level of difficulty and the situation and try to resolve that problem. It is important to also respond professionally. Now, when you're responding professionally, that means you're not putting your personal feelings inside. For example, I will not take your tone. I will not take your tone. I don't understand your tone. I don't like your tone of voice, ma'am. Ma'am, please, could you keep quiet? Could you listen to me? Listen to me. You see, you are being unprofessional. So you have to respond professionally. Remember, professionally is responding by the customer's name and their title, whichever title they've given you. Responding professionally involves responding with factual information, responding to the situation, not to the customer, how they're responding to you, responding to the situation that needs to be resolved. For example, I am so sorry, we are having difficulty, and you and your family are having difficulty with using the new blender that you bought from our store. What type of blender was it? Can you give me the name of the blender? Is there a serial number to that blender? And once they've given the information and they've given you the account information, and go ahead and ask the make and type for that blender, so that it shows that you are responding professionally. You are using the right tone of voice. You're focusing on the situation, and recognize that there may be underlying factors that are causing the customer to be difficult. It may not be actually the product. The product may be part of it, but it could be the other underlying situations that they have escalated the customer to be difficult to handle. For example, it could be that They just had a death in the family, and now all of a sudden the blender is not working. So when they are calling you or they're coming to your store, they'll be very difficult to handle because there are two problems that are running at the same time. One is the blender, which can be fixed. There's another one that actually it's a lot that they'll be dealing with for a long time. And the customer is so overwhelmed with all that's going on because they see they view as if the world is falling apart on their face. It's only them who are affected by everything. So recognize that there may be underlying factors. You are dealing with human beings, and people go through various situations, and yours may just be a part of it. So recognize that when you're dealing with a difficult customer. Understand there may be other issues going on apart from the current situation that have caused the customer to be difficult to deal with. Their tone of voice has changed. They may be somewhat abusive. They may start crying, and you're wondering, how can a customer cry over a blender? It's a blender, it can't be fixed. But they are crying hilariously. They are so upset. They are starting to they say they need to go to the doctor. So understand that there may be other underlying factors. So that's why it's important to be patient and pay attention. Just empathize. Speak in a professional tone. Let them hear that you're listening to them. And you know what? Sometimes you may find these customers are, once you resolve the problem, no matter how long it took, they'll go ahead and start giving you the story. Oh, and even some will even go ahead and apologize. They will even say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I was so difficult today, and I'm so sorry this and this happened. You know, this is just something else has been going on in my life. Oh, my car broke down. I thought I'd have that car for the next 5 years. I'll not have to go to the mechanic now and then, and now it broke down. I have no money to repair the car, and then the Brenda broke, and I am just broke down. I mean, I'm so sorry." So they may go ahead and apologize in front of you, or they may go ahead and even call back later once they've calmed down and go ahead and apologize. I've seen that happen. A customer will call back, and maybe they may not get that agent they were talking to, and they'll just say, "Oh, I was just calling in to apologize. I was very angry at the customer representative I talked to, and it was just there was something else going on. Just tell that agent that I am sorry. Tell that person that I am sorry." But you see, why they have the courtesy to come back and apologize is because of the way you responded to that customer. They understood that the way you handle the problem is you are mature, and you knew that you understand that there's the underlying factors that sometimes are within the customer when you're resolving a problem. Now, when you're dealing with a difficult customer or difficult situations, is you need to ask questions. Now, there are different types of questions you can ask. We have the closed questions and open questions, open-ended and closed-ended questions. So there'll be questions where they'll be required to answer yes or no. Those are the closed questions, closed-ended questions. And we have the open-ended questions where the customer will need to give details. So it is up to you as the customer service representative to strategize how you are going to begin asking those questions. For example, we may begin by asking factual questions. For example, their demographics, their name, their home address, their phone number to access their details. And then from there, you may ask in the other maybe security questions that you may need. And then now you may go ahead and start asking the closed-ended questions and open-ended questions as you try to get into the heart of the situation. So make sure you mix them now, mix the both of them, mix the open-ended and closed-ended questions, so that you give yourself also some time as they answer. You're also giving yourself some time to understand what is going on in that situation. And as you are asking questions, give feedback. Don't just keep asking questions, questions, questions. Give feedback. For example, if you ask the customer, "What is your name?" and the customer responds, "My name is Jessica Simpson." Then give feedback. Thank you, Miss Simpson. How do you like? Is it okay if I address you as Miss Simpson? And they say, oh no, you may address me as Jessica. Just go ahead and say, okay, Jessica, thank you for that information. So you're giving feedback. You are asking questions, getting responses, giving feedback, acknowledging the information you're getting, and that way there will be flow of communication. Now, make sure as a customer is difficult and as they're trying to explain the situation, make sure as they explain and when they pause, make sure you summarize the situation to them. Say the situation back to them, paraphrase the situation. A customer may call in and say, oh, my computer is not working, I'm so unhappy, I'm so upset, it's not working, the keyboard is not working, I cannot punch in anything, nothing is working, nothing works, nothing works. So this is how you summarize. Oh, I'm so sorry about the situation. I understand your keyboard is not working and your computer is not working. You have summarized the information and then you go ahead and give the way forward. We can, and by saying we can go ahead and assist you with that. So you have summarized the situation and you provide a way forward. Be in control of that call. Don't make the customer feel that you are controlling them, but be in control of that conversation. Now, when handling difficult customers, there may be instances where the customer may have limited ability to talk the language of communication that you are using. It may be English, it may be another language. So it may create a scenario whereby you have difficulty in understanding what they are saying. And in this situation, you need to be very sensitive here because this kind of customers may view you as rude depending on how you respond to what they are saying. So for example, you need to be patient and concentrate. Pay close attention. They may not speak fluently as you do, but there are some words you can pick from the conversation, from the phrases, from the sentences. So concentrate. And remember, once they say something, paraphrase, repeat back to the customer, summarize the information. Now, on your part, you need to make sure that you're speaking slowly and distinctly. Use simple, understandable language. Do not use complicated English. Do not use complicated terminologies with you understand, and you know the customer will not understand. So use simple English that can be easily understood by the client. Use short phrases, not very long sentences. Speak slowly and watch to see if the customer is understanding what you are saying. And then be extra courteous. Be extra courteous when you're dealing with this kind of customer. Give them time to express themselves. They may know exactly what they want to say. It's just they're not able to articulate it to you. So just give them some time. Avoid using the jargons or industry jargons. Sometimes as a customer service representative or in the company, you do have terminologies you use to shorten phrases. For example, customer service representative is CSR. And then you do have those kind of phrases. So avoid, when talking to the customer, avoid using those jargons. For example, if the customer is calling in and saying, hello, me talked to agent yesterday, agent told me no, 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 I want to speak to agent again. Now, when you are responding to that customer, you should avoid saying, oh, I'm so sorry that CSR is not available right now. You see, you're even talking very fast. You are using jargons. Now, the customer does not know what CSR is. You know what CSR is, but they don't know. So make sure you may say, an example of what you'd say is, I'm so sorry, the person you talked to yesterday is not available right now, and then offer the way forward by saying, but I will be more than happy to assist you, and give your name and ask them for the information and move forward. So make sure, don't use any slang, Don't use any jargons. Don't use any difficult terminology. Just keep it simple when talking with this type of customer. The next thing you need to do is speak in a normal voice or tone. Don't rephrase exactly what they said and how they say it. Don't try to copy the tone of the customer or the pronunciation of the customer. Don't do that. Just speak in a normal tone as you would speak to any other customer that you easily understand. And as I remember, as I said, reinstate what they're saying. Remember, they understand what you're saying. They cannot just articulate it to you as you'd expect. So just reiterate, make sure you get a response from the customer. For example, you can say, when they say, hello, me talked to agent yesterday, no response, no rectify, I don't know what to do, don't know now, won't complain, won't now, happy, unhappy, 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 I don't know what to do. Speak agent again, now, now, now. So reiterate and say, I'm so sorry that you're still having the same problem and you want to speak to that agent again. And then ask them, is that correct? And they'll say yes. Now, once they confirm the information you have said, then go ahead and continue the conversation. Make sure you get feedback from that customer, that they understand what you're saying, that you have understood what they have said. Now, you may have instances when dealing with difficult customers that there'll be long calls, very, very long calls. Some calls can last for an hour just talking to a customer. So make sure that when it's a long-winded call, make sure that the people or your supervisors in charge of you are aware there's a long call going on, because sometimes people monetize to another time in the telephone. There are those sometimes it maybe look surprising to you, but there are those ones who for some reason they are alone in the home. They rarely have people to talk to, and so when they find someone to talk to, they are so excited. They'll tell you their life story. They'll tell you what's going on in their life. So you have to be extra cautious when dealing with this kind of customers over the phone or in person in the store or in your organization, because you offer a friendly tone, and remember that there are also other customers waiting. So the call may be genuinely long. Maybe you're just trying to resolve and provide a first-time customer resolution on the phone. Just get over and done with the problem. There's maybe sometimes when the customer just talks over and over, you finished the problem and now they want to have a chat with you. So make sure that in a polite way, to avoid long-winded calls, that you excuse yourself to the customer, and I'll find a way as they continue to talk, and just as you confirm what they're saying, and right there just tell them, oh, I'm sorry, Miss Jane, I'm so sorry, I will have to attend to another customer. I really appreciate talking to you. It was great knowing you, but there's another customer waiting. If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and serve that customer as well. And they'll say, oh, okay. You see, you've explained yourself. You told them what's going on. Like, hey, there's something going on. There's a customer that you need to deal with. There's someone you need to talk to, and they will go ahead once they understand that you're not just being dismissive or letting go of the conversation. They will understand there are other people as well who have come for help as well, and they will go ahead and release you to go ahead and help the other customer. Now, when you're talking to argumentative customers, these are difficult customers as well. Speak softly, ask for their opinion, and then especially after communicating with this type of customer, I do advise to take a break. Just take a break, just breathe a little bit. Some customers may take a real toll on your emotions, no matter how professional you stay during the conversation. Take a break. If you're under supervision or you are under some management authority in where you're working, just tell them, I just need to take a few minutes off just to compose myself. Just tell them what has happened, what has gone on. They do understand. That's what their management, they know this kind, we do get those kind of customers, and they'll go ahead and give you a few minutes to relax, compose yourself, and get on with your work. So take a break. Don't take it personal. Never take it personal. It's all about the business transaction. Just make sure you're yourself, and make sure that your supervisors also understand this kind of argumentative customers that you're coming across. Now, when you're letting them voice their opinion, make sure you write it down. Notate in their account if they have accounts with the organization. Make sure you report to the management of what the customer is arguing about or what's going on with that customer, so that those kind of notes and that kind of documentation will help the next agent or a next representative who will be dealing with that customer. And you find that those notes really help, because whenever this argumentative customer constantly calls, there will be someone notes in the account to assist the next customer, the next agent, and they'll be able to see, okay, there's an argumentative customer, they're always complaining, we have difficulty solving them, and from the notes and the documentation, they'll be able to know, okay, this is how I proceed with this customer, this is how we handle this kind of customer. So write good notes that can be easily understood by the other customer service representative to help resolve these customer issues. Now, instances where you have verbally abusive customers, and you will get this in your line of work. There are those who call you names. There are those who abuse your ethnicity. There's those who abuse how you criticize how you're talking. There are those who criticize how you say things, how you are explaining things. They'll verbally abuse you and call you names. They'll call you names like you are unprofessional. They'll call you are uneducated. They'll call you are incompetent, and they will call you actually abusive names, stupid, you fool, and they will call you that. So when you get this kind of verbally abusive customer, remember to stay calm. Don't be abusive as well. Remain calm. Let the customer know the consequences, and then calmly and objectively. Now, different customer service organizations, departments have different policies of how they handle verbally abusive customers. There are those ones who, for example, they give warnings. They give 1, 2, 3 warnings. If the customer is continually abusive, they disconnect the call. There are other companies whereby you'll have to try and de-escalate that call. You'll have to try to go ahead and calm that customer down, and it can really take a toll on you. So make sure, know the policies that the company has on how to deal with abusive customers, so that it will cover you, the policies will protect you as a customer service representative, and will also make sure that you're handling the customer responsibly. Now, you may have instances of threatening customers. Threatening customers, those who threats are meant to intimidate you. For example, I remember I was working for a cable company, and a customer said that, you know what, I'm going to come and bring your equipment and throw them into the building through the window, and I'm going to break that window. So that's threatening. It's to intimidate you. You may have customers who are threatening to even cause bodily harm to any technician or anybody sent into the home. So when you have these kind of threatening customers, it is very important you allow the management and the department of the individual who's been sent to resolve the problem, be it in their residential home, and make sure you notate exactly what type of threats they are making. Make sure if that call needs to be escalated to the security department, because sometimes some of these customers may know where people live, or may know where their head office is, or where the office is. Make sure that the security department is alerted concerning the threats being made, because some of them actually do go ahead and do carry out what they have said. Secondly, make sure you keep calm and keep your responses focused on the issue at hand. So if they say, I'm calling in, I'm so tired with your equipment, I'm going to come bring your equipment, throw them through the window, break those windows, I'm going to burn down that building. So when the customer says that, your response should be, I'm so sorry, the equipment has been having a problem. I'm so sorry about that. What is the problem with the equipment? We will try to help you resolve the problem, because it could be something very simple that they can actually be resolved, but the customer is so angry to the point that they are threatening the organization. So keep calm, keep your responses focused on the issue in hand and resolving that situation for the customer. Now, in case you're dealing with a hostile or angry customer, just as you resolve any other difficult customer, make sure you're not angry. Remember that the customer is not angry at you, the individual. The customer is angry about the product. The customer is angry about the service. If the service is not working correctly, it's the service that has issues, it's the product that actually did not meet the expectation of the customer. So what you need to do as an individual is focus on the product, focus on the service. Do not focus on the anger of the customer. Focus on what they are angry about, focus on what they are upset about, so that you can be able to assist that customer correctly. And then when you're dealing with hostile and customers, wait until their hostility peaks and then begin to cool down. Wait for them to calm down. Sometimes you may weigh in and see, if I really try to get into the conversation, that there will be a problem here. There will be a problem. So what you do as an individual is go ahead and stay calm, focus on resolving the problem, give supportive comments where it needs to be given. Do not sympathize. They don't want your sympathy, and focus on resolving that problem. Focus on getting all the details that are needed to resolve that problem. Now, the best strategy to have when dealing with this type of customers is go ahead and listen, empathize, apologize, provide the right service that is needed. Make sure you apologize for what is wrong with the service. It's not about you, it's about the service. Apologize about the service, apologize about the product, and make sure you summarize what the problem was, how you have resolved the problem, and before you terminate the conversation, ask them, is there anything else that you can assist them with? Remember to do that. Now, I want you to go ahead in your free time to do a group activity with any, or maybe or your friend at home, or with your fellow customer service representative. I want you to go ahead and review or role play of a situation whereby you have a difficult customer. And after you've role played, go ahead and have a discussion on how the best way would have been to resolve that problem. If, for example, depending on how you responded and how the other person responded, we'll go ahead and find out what was the best way would have been to resolve that problem. This activity, it's at your, as you remember, the course at your own pace. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, it's all up to you. Just take your time, because you're trying to familiarize yourself or sharpen your skills on how to handle difficult customers. It is important to learn to say no whenever you are aware that something cannot be resolved. Make sure that you inform the customer why you are saying no. If you are right, and they are wrong, be very careful how you phrase your information to display that you're right and they are wrong. And make sure that you are firm with your response and how you explain the situation to confirm that you are right will help the customer understand what you are saying, will help the customer confirm if they are wrong in how they approach the situation, and they will be able to correct that situation. So it's okay to say no, but make sure that your no is backed up by facts and the right information. So there are various strategies you can use to say no. You first of all explain why something cannot be done. Don't quote policies. For example, saying, oh, as per the policy of this company, we are not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to give customers this kind of discount. Don't quote policy. And then don't patronize. Look for alternative ways to assist the customer and avoid making excuses. There are some excuses that should never ever be made. For example, oh, I'm so sorry that I was not the one who was handling that situation again. I'm so sorry the agent that you talked to gave you such a hard time. It was not me, but now I'll be more than happy to assist you. No, avoid making excuses. You are representing the company. That agent was representing the company. So overall, the previous time the customer called, the problem was not resolved. So the company did not resolve the problem. So don't make any excuses and eliminate negative phrases. Eliminate negative phrases whereby the customer will feel intimidated, or you be wrongly representing the organization or that department. Now, don't mention other similar complaints. For example, oh, I'm so sorry, I hear a lot of customers have been calling about the same issue. Oh no, this is not happening. Yes, several customers have called in. They had the same complaint. They had the same problem. Don't ever say that. Focus on the unique problem of the individual customers. Do not relate complaints, compare complaints with the customer. Don't do that. Just focus on dealing with that customer and resolving their individual needs. Now, whenever there are instances whereby there's issues of security and you are aware that there are safety issues involved, make sure that there's no physical abuse or harm intended on the customer and their children if they will be coming them to the store, or if you hear on the background. Make sure in instances whereby there are difficult customers and you're handling difficult situations and they do not have the right access, you don't have the right access to go, for example, into the building or into the residence, and there's a child there, make sure that you handle the situation professionally so that there will be no future problems that will affect the company. Now, in conclusion, so we have looked at the methods of diffusing and handling difficult customers. We've looked at strategies of handling customers and how to handle the difficult situations. So it's important to evaluate the information we have talked about and see what applies to you. What situations do you find often when you're dealing with the customers? Are you being so defensive? Are you diffusing the tension? What are you doing to handle difficult situations? Remember, you can turn around that difficult customer to be a loyal customer, and it's all up to you as a customer service representative. So be mindful of what you say, how you say it, and when you say it as you communicate with the customer. So we have come to the end of the workshop. We've come to the end of our module. I want you to go ahead and identify significant learnings and see how you can apply them to your day-to-day activities. Look, for example, if I'm communicating to a customer, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Have I discovered something that I was doing wrong and I need to rectify it? And see how you can apply that to your customer service representative roles. We have talked about how to handle people who are whining, difficult customers and situations. We have talked about the importance of communication skills. How you communicate is very, very important to be able to be understood by the customer and the customer to understand you, and how you present the information as well is very important. How you lay out the information to the customer, the step-by-step guidelines that you give to be successful in the communication is very important. And we have come to the end of module 3. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout this module, and I really appreciate your feedback. Go ahead and go through the module again. Remember, you can go through it as many times as possible. There will be some videos in the resource section, in the video section, of different ways to handle customers and different ways to handle difficult customer situations. So go through those videos as you have and as you read your notes as well. Compare and see what is being talked about in those videos. They are very good videos, very informative videos. Go through them, understand the content, and see how you can apply that content in your day-to-day work to be able to be a stellar customer service representative. Hope to see you in the next activities. Thank you. Look forward to seeing the next activities.